Hello class, we're looking at linear equations. We're going to look at the standard form and slope-intercept form and graphing, and we will be working on these topics for several days. So how do I graph equations is the essential question for today. Your learning intention. I'm learning to convert equations to slope-intercept form and how to graph the lines. So you're going to look at finding the slope from these different representations. So pause the video and see which ones you can solve on your own. Well, I hope you tried on your own. So let's take a minute and look. To find the slope from 2 points, remember that is the difference of your y values divided by the difference of your x values. My values are -3 minus 12. My x values are 5 minus -7. Okay, the first one's pretty straightforward. -3 minus 12 more is -15. But on this one we have to remember, you never ever minus a negative, you plus a positive. Five plus 7 is 12. Okay, we have an improper fraction. Can it be simplified? 15 has a factor of 3. 12 has a factor of 3. So -15 over 12 is equal to -15 divided by 3 is -5. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And our slope is -5 over 4. Okay, the next one is in a form you might not remember. This is what we call the point slope form. This is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So you really don't have to look for anything, you just have to know where it is located. In this case, it is located in front of the parentheses. In front of the parentheses, we have a 1/2. So our slope is equal to 1/2. Okay, any questions on the first two? For the next one, you actually have a formula you can use. For the standard form, m is equal to the opposite of a divided by b. Opposite of 4 divided by -6. Negative divided by negative is a positive. I can simplify to 2 over 3. Okay, that's one way to do it. But another way to do it would be to change it into y-intercept form. So to do that, first thing I would do is to subtract 4x from both sides. You notice I don't put the 4x underneath the 8. They are not like terms. So -6y is equal to, I'm going to bring the -4x to the front, plus 8. Now, divide by -6 all the way across. If you notice, we have now found what we found over here. So y is equal to 4 over 6 simplifies to 2 over 3x plus. It's actually going to be a minus because you're dividing a positive by a negative. Minus, have a factor of 2, so that would be 4 over 3, and we are done. Okay, what about a table? What do? We still look for delta x and delta y because our slope is equal to delta y over delta x. Okay, so let's take a minute and look. On the x side, how much do I go up by? From 0 to 1 is plus 1. On the y side, what do I go up by? That's plus 6. 4 plus 6 gives me 10. So my slope is equal to 6 over 1. Delta y over delta x, which is simply equal to 6. So if you're still struggling with these ideas, this should be a review. Back the video up and listen again. Now we're going into the graphing part. We're looking at y equals mx plus b form. So there's two things you need to know. Your b tells you where to begin. And that is on the y-axis. The m tells you how to move. So as I'm looking at this one down here, I begin at 1. That translates into the point 0, 1. So I come up here, 0, 1 is right here. The 2 tells me how to move. Remember, a number is always a fraction that is 2 over 1. It's divided by 1. This tells me I go up 2, right 1, and then I have a second point and I can graph. I start at the first point I had. I go up 1, 2, I go over 1, and now I draw a line and I am done. Okay, looking at the next one. Where do we begin? -2. That is the point 0, -2. How do we move? 1/3. That is up 1, right 3. Now notice these are both positives. When you're dealing with a positive slope, you go up and to the right. If it's negative, you go down and to the right. But you always try to go to the right. So I'm beginning at 0, -2. Here's 0, -2. I go up 1, and then I go right 1, 2, 3. There's 2 points. I can now draw my line. Okay, so if you're still struggling, back the video up and listen again. Okay, this is in the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. So the slope is negative 3. That means I will go down 3, right 1. Okay, I need a point to start with. So if I'm looking, the point that I begin at, okay, so this is y minus y sub 1, so that would be 3. It's a positive 3. It will be opposite of this symbol. 3, comma. Over here it's a positive 1. It will be opposite of this symbol. So start at 3, 1. I go over 3. I go up 1. For my next point, I go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1. I now have those 2 points. I'm ready to graph. This one is a little bit more difficult because you have to remember that your point will be the opposite of. And did I get it right? No. I inverted my x and my y. So if I'm looking, x is 1 and y is 3. So I start at 1, 3. Now I'm ready to go down 1, 2, 3, right 1, and draw my graph. You notice I go through the whole Cartesian plane, and I do put arrows at the end. And that is your graph. Okay, to find the x and y intercepts, x-intercept is where y is equal to 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is substitute 0 in for y. 2x plus 3 times 0 is equal to 12. So this eliminates. 2x is equal to 12. Divide by 2, and x is equal to 6. So this point is 6, 0. And it would be right out here. Okay, for the y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So I'm going to substitute 0 in for x. 2 times 0 plus 3y is equal to 12. 3y is equal to 12 divided by 3. Y is equal to 4. So this point is 0, 4. Okay, draw your line. And you have your line now. The other thing you could have done, because this went off, you could have looked at your slope. Remember, your slope is the opposite of A over B. So that would be the opposite of 2 over 3. I'd go down 2, right 3, and I'd have another point there. So there's a lot of different ways to graph if you know if you can think about the next step. So for the first one, on your own, you've got a standard form of a line. Are you going to find the x and y intercepts, or do you want to convert it into slope-intercept form? Totally up to you. Pause the video and see if you can do it on your own now. I hope you tried. So what I'm going to do is to find my x-intercept. So x plus 2 times 0 is 4. X equals 4. So this would be the point 4, 0. Okay, find my y-intercept. Okay, 0 plus 2y is equal to 4. 2y is equal to 4, and y is equal to 2. This is the point 0, 2. I now have 2 points I can graph. 4, 0 is right here. 0, 2 is right here. Draw the line in between, and you are done. Okay, if you didn't try the last one on your, if you did not try the last one on your own, please try it now. Okay, so we know the slope. That means we go up 2 and then we go right 3. Okay, so let's look at our point that we start at. Remember, in this case, we look at the opposites. What is the opposite of positive 3? Negative 3. What is the opposite of positive 4? Negative 4. This is where I begin. Negative 3, negative 4 is right here. I go up 2, 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. I am now ready to draw my line. And I'm done. So, as you're looking at this, you know you're successful when you can graph equations in slope-intercept form, and you know how to graph the lines. So this is graphing. Linear equations. And it's also x and y intercepts.